Thank you and welcome once again. Before I begin, it is extremely important for me to remind everybody that we are gathered here on the traditional territories of the Treaty 7 nations. More importantly, the city of Calgary is home to the mate nation of Alberta. I recommend and highly implore everyone to take the time, not just those of you who are here in person, but also those who are online, to take the time and effort to understand Indigenous territories, Indigenous treaties. Not only is it important for you because it contains a lot of our history, but more importantly than that, it is the reality that Indigenous histories are not just a chapter of Canada, they are the past, present, and future, and have been defending and been defenders with their spirit of these land, seas, and skies. And with that tribute to the Canadian context, I welcome you once again to Calgary. My name is Ali Hirji, and for the last year, I've had the humbled opportunity to be the chair of Operation Defend the North. And I can tell you that you learn very quickly over a period of time that every context is different, every situation brings different people, processes, and technology to the party. The exercise that you're going to witness today over 4 to 5 modules is an exercise that expands approximately 3 days. And for the first 10 to 15 minutes while we do this opening and introduction, you'll get to know what's happening here on the panel, and I'll gradually bring you to a point where you begin to understand what scenario you're about to walk into. I will add for context that the scenario is fictitious, but just because it's fictitious doesn't mean that it could not happen. For those of you that got the alerts at 3 a.m. Mountain Time this morning, the AWS outage gives you a little bit of an optic into the panic that ensues. We'll play with that panic a little bit and hopefully create a little bit of method to all of the madness. This session here today at Bow Valley College would not be possible if the team at Bow Valley College did not come together. And I would be amiss if I did not point all of your attention to an individual who reminded me that Calgary doesn't just talk about opportunity, they build it. James, when we spoke about bringing Operation Defend the North here to Calgary, you didn't just talk about it, you made it happen. Firstly, I want to thank you for all of your effort, and if you can just take the first minute or so to introduce yourself, but also tell us a little bit about Bow Valley College and why this particular event is of crucial importance.
Thanks, Ali. First, I'd actually like to say thank you to the team behind the scenes. It takes more than a small village to run an event like this. Bow Valley, for us, they've really gotten behind where the cybersecurity community is growing, and they wanted to see that continue to occur here. So when you reached out to us, it was quite an opportunity. We basically jumped in with both feet because it was really in line with what we felt we wanted to portray to not just our students here, but the community at large. So we just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to be able to host this, and we're just looking forward to what's coming.
Thank you, James. And I will say this myself in my full-time life as a professor at Seneca College. I can add to this that it is very, very rare to have a CISO so involved, not just in the technical operations, but also in the academic side of things. And I will say on behalf of the entire community, James, you are a true exception that proves an often not very much appreciated rule. So thank you, James, for everything that you do. And again, everybody from the Bow Valley College community, including the folks supporting AV, we are very, very grateful for all of your assistance. Along with Bow Valley College and obviously the team from CyberX, as you're seeing on this panel ahead of you, are a bunch of advisors who have played a crucial role over the last 3 months putting this all together. Before I go to these advisors and ask them to talk a little bit about what you are going to experience today, to my right are 2 important individuals as well who come from the wider cybersecurity community but are sponsors of this event. And without them, some of these gatherings are definitely not possible. David, I'll start off with you from Darktrace. Thank you as always for your support. Can you tell us a little bit about what brings you to this event after your experiences in Ottawa? David?
Thanks very much, Ali. Can I just say it's a real pleasure to be back in Bow College, because about 8 or 9 years ago, round about now, I was actually in this very room standing up trying to get everybody to understand the importance of artificial intelligence and cybersecurity But here we are 10 years later, and you're probably all bored to tears hearing about the word artificial intelligence. By the way, you can go on YouTube and look it up. I look so much younger, but there we go. It's my pleasure here today to play the role of an industry expert. Experts, eh? Who needs experts? Well, we'll see what happens. Here to provide an outside, non-partisan voice towards the events today. In terms of background, I'm the guy who brought Darktrace to Canada about 9 years ago. I'm not going to go on about Darktrace right here now. And prior to that, my background's been in national security with the Canadian and before that the British governments. But once again, real pleasure to be back at Bow College.
Thank you very much for that. And David has been involved in the session, as I mentioned, in Ottawa. And this is an important moment for me to remind you that the narrative around Operation Defend the North began, obviously, as you saw in the video, about a year ago. But this particular season began in Ottawa. If you have the time, on your phones, ODTN.news is a fictitious news site which has a lot of the background information that brings us to Calgary, where steel meets the sky. Jean-Paul Francois from Telus, thank you as well for all of your support. A couple of thoughts on what you think you're about to experience today.
Thanks, Ali. Yeah, I see Bow Valley has always been front and center in cybersecurity in Alberta. I see that the last B-side was organized here, and I recognize familiar faces in the audience. Yeah, it's my first time being on a panel like this, and I'm thrilled and looking forward to provide expert opinion and throughout the scenario. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you so very much. And with that, we'll go until about 9:30 with our opening remarks and then jump into the session itself. Now, just so all of you that are here in person, you will notice from time to time, I am looking at two phones ahead of me and a screen here. We have a pretty large audience that is watching online as well. So I'm trying to oscillate between the two. The one thing that I will tell you is that from an agenda perspective, we are at 9:30 going to jump into module 1. So those who are watching online, that's the slight shift in the agenda. With that said, and trying to stay as true to time as possible, I need to go over all the way to the right of this table and look at Captain Alex, because Alex is hosting a very interesting title today. I'll let Alex introduce that title himself, but as I always say this, underneath that beautiful crop of hair is a very, very technical brain that puts together a lot of the madness that you're about to see. Alex, over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Commodore. CyberX has developed something really great, and they invited me on to help enrich it. And that really means building more of a backstory, something more believable, something that really touches us, touches society, and whatnot. So I've been able to merge my passion of learning random things I probably shouldn't care about, and then merging it into the cyber world. And this event is the first to really have a deep backstory that's going to really support that could really be an uncomfortable situation if it happens. So really looking forward to rolling this out as a V1 of really deep backstory for this scenario.
Thank you, Alex. And sitting to Alex's right is an individual driven by grit, hard work, and good coffee. This individual has been with Operation Defend the North from the very beginning and will be taking on a role supporting the SOC, or perhaps even leading the SOC. Shrey, you excited and all set with all of the alerts that are going to be pushed your way?
Absolutely, Ali. All the telemetries are live, so just gonna wait for your instructions to kick off.
All right, well, once the telemetry is live, when it goes down, talk to me then, and hopefully you're still not hiding under the table and visible to the cameras. Shrey, always good to have you. I'll stick to the right side of this panel and go over to Varun. Varun, this is your first experience at Operation Defend the North. Do you know what you've walked into, or is this the Diwali special that you're expecting?
I don't know. I'm expecting a lot of firecrackers. Let's see how it goes. But excited to be here first time and looking forward to learning from all the panelists.
Sounds good. And I'm just going to remind all my panelists to speak a little bit closer to the mic. The technical team at the back, if you need to hint at me, just let me know. I think I've gotten better at this, and I see that the online feed is also going well. So thank you for that. I will now migrate to the left of my table, and I will start off with an individual that has been very important to my own growth in cybersecurity, but more importantly, an individual that allows you to learn from your mistakes. I've always mentioned this, that in security, it's not about knowing what to do, it's about knowing what to do when things go wrong. And this is an individual who has helped a lot of Canadians. Vivek, thank you for making the trip all the way out here. I hold you and we hold you in great esteem. Vivek, a little bit about Calgary. I'm sure this is not your first time over here, but what are you expecting from this experience?
I think this particular scenario is going to be interesting because it's kind of a level deep into the infrastructure. And a lot of people are facing different crises, operational or cyber, but this is also a level deeper where the impacts can be much broader, and it can get very stressful and confusing in prioritizing how you contain and respond. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm also really grateful for being invited to this. Thank you. It's always a great opportunity. I know the board advisor role that I'm playing is not something people get to see a lot. So I'm hoping to expose, a perspective where ultimately in companies, this information has to flow up to the board. So it's unusual for the board to play an active role, but at the same time, it's good insight because the buck stops there. Not that they should be making any decisions, but there is a flow there. So normally, the people that know me, I'm a shy and quiet guy, but I've been asked to step out of character a little bit, so I may do that, but hopefully you'll enjoy that.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Vivek, and of course, we look forward to the role that you're about to play, and you stepping out of character. Hopefully your son, who is volunteering here, gets to experience this moment as well. With that, Rob, we had our first experience together in Vancouver, and I truly will never forget the moment when during the incident you asked us all to take a moment and you highlighted the importance of not just the technical piece that you were given, but you highlighted the importance of mental health during an incident. I appreciate the humanness to your work. Very quickly, Rob, what are you expecting is going to happen today here in Calgary?
This is going to be an interesting one, and of course I see my role as the opposite to Alex and his chaos monkey releasing in terms of trying to bring order to the chaos and herd the cats as we get towards the end of this, which will be no doubt my challenge going through.
All right, sounds good. Rob, looking forward to it. And then last but not the least, Paul, your first experience of Operation Defend the North. Much like Varun, I'm hoping you know what you've walked into.
Well, I'm very excited to be invited to participate in this event. This is my first, so bear with me as I go through it. Looking to take away a lot of interesting feedback from the rest of the panel and move forward and help establish some impact for the cybersecurity community.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Paul. And staying true to time, I have about 5 minutes. Alex, I will turn to you if you need to add anything to the details over here. But Alex, actually, you know what? Let me make my life easier, and perhaps we'll start off with you. Can you tell the audience very, very quickly, at a high level, what is the scenario we are about to kick off with?
All right. So CyberX PowerCo is a company that generates power through solar and wind, and they also got into the AI data center business. Now, our team is representing the CyberX PowerCo, but we're going to experience a cyber attack that causes a catastrophic impact to the Alberta economy. And we're going to dig in deeper on some of those technicalities of how that could actually happen based off of historical events that have been glued together to make it entertaining and theatrical.
All right, thank you very much. And since we are an educational institute, I'll use the word. The way this is structured is a bit of edutainment, if you will. So there is a lot of theater, there is a lot of theatrics. Minus a dance move or two, you'll get everything else that is required. But I'll first go through a little bit of housekeeping items. The first thing, which is absolutely the most important piece, the washrooms are located somewhere to the back. There are volunteers in the orange t-shirts that will guide you to the washrooms and make sure that if you need any assistance, I'll leave that to wherever that conversation goes, but they'll tell you where the washrooms are. Second, In terms of food and the sponsor booths, these are located across the tower, so there are volunteers again that will help you there. Gives you a little bit of a short walk, about a couple of minutes, but they do have some good snacks, some lunch for you, and some opportunities to network. So please, during the breaks, especially the lunch break, please avail of it. There is an online platform as well, live.cyberx.org, as well as an app. If you are registered for virtual attendance, you can go to that app, or you can go to that portal. You can put in your email and it'll send you an OTP, and then you'll be able to access the live stream. I will from time to time encourage all of you also to log into the live stream, because certain links and certain opportunities like labs, etc., will be shared in that environment. In terms of the situation, besides knowing that we're going to go through a breach or a potential breach with CyberX PowerCo, every person that you see sitting here plays a role within CyberX PowerCo. As you're watching the production on the screen behind me, and for me there's a screen on top right here, you'll see two things. You'll see their title within CyberX PowerCo, and then right at the top somewhere, you'll see what their daytime superpowers are, CISO of Bow Valley College, for example. These are all fictitious roles that they will be playing. Heads up, nobody knows what's about to hit them. From an inject perspective, from a logs perspective, from emails popping in, from people being off and our SLAs being down because it's a public holiday in another country where we outsource some of the work to, all sorts of things could be happening in real time. Nobody here has seen all of the modules. At best, they have a little tablet in front of them that gives them a quick summary, but that is about it. Every response that you see is in real time. I encourage you from time to time, if you have questions, to raise your hand, and I will gladly try to weave it in. For those that are online, I've just messaged you as well. When you drop your questions in there, the CyberX team will send it to me as well. And we have a Slack, a Signal, everything in the event of AWS going down and things coming down. We have backups. We will be able to bring up your questions as quickly as possible, and I'll weave them into the scenarios. Okay? One other item that I do want to reference in this, please remember there is some element of make-believe in the scenario. We may not completely follow the exact setup of how you might understand critical infrastructure in Alberta. There might be one or two, perhaps you can say, conveniences in architecture that we might take. However, we've tried to keep it as true as possible. I've heard that in Calgary, resilience is not just a word, it's a daily habit. So with that, and I look at the technical team at the back, I think we are ready, Alex, with your permission, to jump into Module 1.
Let's roll it.
Let's roll with Module 1.